Bless y'all tonight. We're coming to work together. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm getting everything set up, so bear with me, please. Let me share this in a couple different spaces. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, we are talking about growing up spiritually. We are talking about growing up spiritually. So, we are live. We're going to talk about growing up spiritually, what that looks like, how to go about it. And then we'll do a little Q&A and some divination. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all talking in the chat? What y'all talking about? I can't even see it. Wait a minute. Hi, loves. How is everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Who is with me? Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the chat. Who's with me? Okay, we are going to get started. Hello, hello, hello. Happy birthday. Yes. Happy birthday. Yes. I hope you enjoyed your day. Okay. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start. I like to be on time, so give y'all, I guess I'll give y'all a few more minutes. Let me share this in a few more places, and then good. I'm glad you had a fun birthday. Yes. How old did you turn? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome, 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 my divine darlings. Welcome. So thank you for joining me tonight. For those who do not know me, I am the Biblical Mystic. And before entering this space, I like to let everyone know that I am, and I do talk and use the Bible, but I'm not, this isn't your typical Bible space, okay? I use and see the Bible from a different perspective. I look at the Bible from a mystical point of view. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm still getting stuff together. I look at the Bible from a mystical point of view. Okay. And I don't look at this book as, it's not a history book to me. It is a mystery, a mystical book, a spiritual book, a book of symbology, allegories, parables, and cryptic coded stories that are maps to help the reader maneuver through this realm. So that's how I look at the Bible. That's how I use it, okay? My gift that I was given was the ability to see beyond the words. I can see the symbols. Um, when I see the word light in the Bible, I know that, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When I see the word light in the Bible, I know that it's talking about intelligence, information, and divine information, like God consciousness, God awareness. That's what when I see light, that's what I know it's talking about. When I see feet mentioned, I know we're talking about understanding, right? Divine understanding. So when God told Joshua, when God told Joshua, every place the sole of your feet will land, I will give it to you. He was telling Joshua, I will give you the understanding, my level of understanding of these things. So that is a whole nother level to see it and to get the understanding from a God's point of view about something. That's a whole different level, a whole different perspective to get something. So of course, when you understand it from that level, you have dominion over it. You have ownership of it. So that is how I see the Bible. So over here, we walk the path of remembering who we are. Psalms 82 tells us that we are gods. We are the mighty ones in this realm, but we're not living like it. And because we're not living like it, because we're not in position, the whole earth is out of course. Because God's chosen ones, God's mighty ones, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. So my mission, my personal mission, is to empower individuals who hear me to embody the God that is within them and free themselves from the many ways we have been indoctrinated. So we can have a true divine experience with God, with the Most High, and be with Him in spirit and in truth, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I set the intentions for this space. I welcome Spirit to come in and sup with us. This is a safe space. May there be healing in this space. May this be a empowering and restorative space. So, my divine darlings, again, I say welcome. If you guys would share this for me, let's see if we can get this room filled up. I got an awesome lesson for y'all tonight. We are talking about growing up in God. So share this live, share it on your Facebook, share it with people that are on the same path as you are. Tell them Biblical Mystic is live. And we got some things to talk about tonight, okay? We got some things to talk about. We are going to talk about growing up in God. All right. So share the live. While you guys are sharing it, anybody got something they want to share? They want to talk about something that's on your heart? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight, again, we are talking about growing up spiritually, coming out of spiritual infancy. What does it really mean to grow up in God? I want to talk to you about getting off of the milk. Quit being babies in God and transitioning into the meat, the more weightier things of the spirit realm. This teaching is a call to maturity. This teaching is a call to maturity. It is a call for you to take your rightful place, your rightful position in spiritual hierarchy. So I want to look at Hebrews 5:11 through 14, but the key scripture we're going to use is Hebrews 5:12. And here we have Paul. He is talking to the church, and he says you should be teachers, but you should be teachers, you should be oracles for God, you should be a voice for God, but you still have need for milk, you still have need for the basic things of God, and you're not ready for the strong meat, but you should be past this. So when you read that, you can hear the frustration. When you read that whole section, you can hear the frustration in Paul's voice, in this spiritual teacher's voice. He is talking to what should be his peers, but for whatever reason, they have decided they're not going to do the work. They have decided not to evolve. And they allowed themselves to get stuck in spiritual infancy. Paul told them by now you should be teaching, but you still learning basic stuff. You should be teaching this information, but you're still learning basic stuff. You're meant to be God's oracle. You're meant to be the voice of God, not a perpetual student. You're circling the same mountain, just like the children of Israel. You're sipping milk when you should be able to digest meat by now. It's time for us to grow up spiritually. It's time for us to grow up spiritually. The question now becomes, are you still on milk? Ask yourself this question. Am I still on milk? Do you still need a middleman between you and God? Are you able to hear God without a preacher, without some person in the middle? Are you able to go to God on your own? If your answer is no, then you're still on milk. Are you unable to make decisions? Do you need to run it by 50 million people before you can decide what is best for you? Then you're still on milk. Do you lack fortitude, willpower? Then you're still on milk. Do you treat God like a vending machine? Do you mess with God just out of convenience? If your answer is yes, then you are still on milk. You're still in spiritual infancy. You still are a baby in God. Have you not figured out what your spiritual tools are? You haven't developed your spiritual disciplines yet. Some of those things could be prayer, fasting, silence. These are all spiritual tools to help move you along. Do you have delayed obedience? Are you still asking God to do something He already told you what and how to do it? Do you lack responsibility in your own healing? Is it still everybody else's fault? If you answer yes to any of these, you are still on milk. You are still stuck at spiritual infancy. When we read Hebrews, we not only see Paul's frustration, we can feel his grievance in that. Not only, I told you these should be his peers, but they weren't growing. They got stuck. They had all this information, they had the knowledge, but it was no application. Paul was grieved because their stagnation delayed the kingdom. Their lack of growth delayed the kingdom. Paul shouldn't have been the only one out here passing out handkerchiefs. Paul should not have been the only one out here with these Jesus-like abilities. It's time for us to grow up. Tonight, it's about us becoming meat eaters. It's about us becoming spiritual builders, grown men and grown women in God. That's what this lesson is about. Spiritual adulthood is about unlearning the oppressor's lies on every level. The lies your abuser told you, the lies your bully told you, the lies that this system has told you. It's time to decolonize our mind. First and foremost, I would tell you that you are not God's doorkeeper. You don't get to tell people the path that they are to take to get to God. They are allowed to take whatever path they want. That's not your right. That's not your ability. You are not God's doorkeeper. In Isaiah, God tells Isaiah, I'm in the light and the dark. My hands is in all of that. So you don't get to tell us where we find God at. Everything unfamiliar is not demonic. Everything unfamiliar is not demonic. That's baby talk. That's baby talk. When Sinners came out a couple weeks ago, I about pulled my hair out. Everywhere I talk, everywhere I look, there, this is demonic, this is demonic, this is demonic. That's baby talk. That's baby talk. Everything unfamiliar is not demonic. Yoga is not demonic. Meditation is not witchcraft. Meanwhile, you run around here talking about everything is demonic and everything is witchcraft. Meanwhile, you in church symbolically drinking blood and eating flesh. These are ancient occult practices, ancient spiritual practices. The point of communion in church is for you to embody the Christ, embody that spirit, become that spirit. That's the purpose. That spirit isn't just supposed to be riding you. You should become it. That's the purpose of drinking the blood of it. That's the purpose of eating the flesh of it. We're going to grow up spiritually. That's what we're going to do. We're going to grow up spiritually. We've been demonizing practices that actually empower us. When you grow up spiritually, you take your rightful position in God's hierarchy. I've taken leadership classes, and one truth always surfaces. True leaders always create more leaders. This truth applies to God too. If you are truly being led by God, his leadership should activate your leadership. You aren't made to just follow orders. You weren't made to just be a sheep. You are to transition. We're talking about growing up spiritually. We're talking about growing up spiritually. Psalms 8:5 tells us that God made God made us a little lower than the angels. And the actual word there was Elohim. They took Elohim out and put angels there. So God made us a little lower than the divine. I'm talking to you about growing up spiritually. And listen, I don't care what your background is. We are all learning how to tap into the spirit realm. All roads lead to the spirit realm. So I don't care if you're a Christian, you're an Israelite, you Ephi, hoodoo, voodoo, spiritual, daughter of, son of, you name it, you put it in there. We are all learning how to work in the spirit realm. That's what we're trying to do. We are trying to learn how to work in the spirit realm so we can live our desired lives down here. That's the goal. We're learning how to work in the spirit realm, which is the kingdom that is inside of you. We're going to grow up spiritually. Let's go ahead and bring this home. I want you to look at Genesis 2:19. I want you to look at Genesis 2:19. And that says, out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was its name. Genesis 2:19. Let's look at that. God formed it. He shaped it. He gave it structure. He was the potter. He took the clay. He was the potter. Then he took the pot and gave it to Adam. And he told Adam, what will you call this? To call something is to put a demand on it. To call it forth. So what we see here is Adam didn't just observe creation. He participated in it. He discerned the essence of the structures that God gave him. And then he assigned them their place in creation. That's a lot of authority. The ability to perceive a thing and then call it what it is. He gave form. Adam gave form its function. He brought order to what God made. Stick with me. I'm bringing all this together. You are Adam. I am Adam. And we are called to be co-creators with God. But if we get stuck in spiritual infancy, we are to be co-creators with God. But if we get stuck in spiritual infancy, if we lack growth, we will never reach our rightful position. God forms it, you name it. You define it, you assign it a function. You call forth its identity. If you are still waiting for God to do all the naming, you're still on milk. And it's time for you to grow up in God and become a co-creator in your life. God brings it to you, but what it becomes is your responsibility. God brought you that child. What you gonna do with it? God brought you that marriage. What you gonna do with it? God gave you that vision. What you gonna do with it? God gave you your life. What are you going to do with it? It's time to apply the knowledge. Become practical with this knowledge. Apply it to your life. Become a spiritual scientist. What's the hypothesis? What is the hypothesis? Test it. See what happens. And yeah, I'm here to tell you some things you're going to be like, oh, I won't never do that again. And some things you're going to be like, oh, that was a whole key. That opened up a whole new door for me. Let me write that down because that works. That moved my life forward in a direction I want to take my life. Apply the knowledge. Become a spiritual scientist. Find your magic. Find your magic. Find your magic. What works for you? That's why we have to stop allowing people to tell us what we can do, what we can't do. Find your magic to the kingdom that is within you. Find your magic. I know a lady who laughs. She stops for 1 hour every day and just sits and laughs. And that has changed her life. Find your magic. Find your magic. It is time for you to grow up spiritually and take your position of authority in your life. Sit on your throne in your life. Find your magic. Do the work. Grow up. A lot of y'all got a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, and this realm needs them. But you can't share it with the world until you give it to yourself. You cannot share what's in you until you give it to yourself. All right, y'all. I hope y'all heard that message. I hope it came through loud and clear. It is time for us to grow up spiritually. It's time for you to take your rightful position. You should be a co-creator with God. Not out here still begging, still pleading. It's time to tap into what belongs to you, what is rightfully yours. I love y'all. I love y'all. Listen, I want to do a little Q&A and some divination. So if y'all have questions, you want to talk about something, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments and let's talk about it. Okay? Let's do a general read while I wait. I'm just going to pull from my cards. I got my own little deck that I made. I'm going to pull from those. And let's just do a general read. Let's see what Spirit has for us tonight, collectively. Collectively, let's see what Spirit has for us tonight. No one has a question? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. Spirit is saying, become your own master. Be your own master. Indulge in that. Jump into it. Jump into the deep of you becoming your own master. Seek, search what that means for you. Search what that means. Search out what that means for you. What does it mean for you to become your own master? That's the cards I pulled. I got my own deck, and it says be your own master and indulge in that. So that's the word the Spirit has for y'all. Well, I love y'all. If y'all don't have no questions, if you want to contact me, I have my information at the top. You can contact me, but I love y'all. If y'all don't have no questions, we don't have nothing. Y'all don't want to talk about nothing. You don't want to pull no cards. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. Okay. Smooches, my divine darlings. Thank you for joining me tonight. Be sure to check the description for the links to my website, all of my social media platforms. If you'd like to support my work, you can do so by visiting my website, where you'll find digital products, self-paced courses, and spiritual coaching sessions. All of that stuff is available to help you on your journey. So, again, if we don't have any questions, y'all don't want to talk about nothing, I'm going to see y'all next week. And next week, we're going to talk about that life is spiritual. We're going to break all that down. The spirituality of life. Okay? So, again, I love y'all. And thank you for joining me. And if y'all don't have no questions, we out. I love y'all.